So, as I said in my previous video, I don't know how to sew, and considering 2020 provided us all with a lot of free time, and Hasbro adding Rita Repulsa to the Lightning Collection, I figured now was a good time to learn. Now, the dress Hasbro provided. While I'll take it over the sculpted plastic band I would have used, it doesn't change the fact that the Hasbro dress is still ugly. Let's change that. I decided to model the new dress on the version seen in Jew Ranger footage, as I'd argue it's the best version. Now, because I'm a perfectionist, I decided to go and make the learning process harder on myself and include the petticoat seen in the Sentai footage. Why am I like this? To be on the safe side, I began with prototyping, and from that I learned what a circle skirt is. I learned that you should be careful mingling elastic with cotton, as the cotton doesn't want to move and the elastic does. And I learned what pattern drafting was. The skirt was the hardest part to make at this stage, as it either limited her leg movement, or it was the wrong shape. So I decided to put my perfectionism aside and just not bother with the petticoat. Now, in my ignorance, I thought I had enough research under my belt to make the dress itself. I did not. It was the wrong color, the embroidery was terrible, I'd recycled the incorrect pattern from Hasbro's version of the dress, and the fabric was too sturdy, resulting in a Gone with the Wind look. But this is a learning process, and I have to deal with that. Can't believe I spent money on that fabric, and you know what? It's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Now, from the failings of the first attempt, I realized I should have measured the figure. You know, that thing all garment makers do, and suddenly pattern drafting was so much easier. Although I did have a little helper for this part, so that's probably why it was so easy. Oh, she is just so cute. But speaking of helpers, I got my hands on some pictures from Bandora's palace. BP, if you're watching, your pictures were so helpful. Oh, I also invested in a sewing machine. I decided to bring back the petticoat, and after doing some testing with newspaper, made a box-pleated skirt for her. However, I made sure not to go all the way around with the pleating, so there could still be enough room to get the skirt past her thighs. And then I made some suspenders out of thread. For the dress itself, remembering the elastic issues from earlier, I decided to make it tie up in the back, taking inspiration from the 10th Doctor's coat. However, I learned why you should have these ties go above the skirt and not be a part of the skirt itself, as it makes the skirt want to bunch up in a way that doesn't look good. Now, for the front of the dress, I noticed there were some dots, so I decided to include those, and this time the embroidery actually matched the Jew Ranger version of the costume. And after a quick go on the sewing machine, it was now time to make the sleeves. The sleeves did present an issue. As the first sleeve, there was too much fabric, so when I went to flip the dress to be the right way around, it just couldn't turn to the right direction. So I had to cut it off and make a third sleeve, and I had to both finalize the sleeves and attach them to the dress through the use of an invisible ladder stitch. And after what felt like 10,000 years, there finally was a dress, finished and ready to go. Now, while there are problems with the dress, overall I'm happy with this, as the project wasn't really about making a Rita Repulsa dress, it was about learning to sew. And I have definitely come away from this project more knowledgeable on sewing than when I started. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a headache and I need to go take some aspirin for it. Bye.